Good morning, folks. And to some of y'all, this is a really early morning, but for me, I'm a morning guy. And before we start anything of this video, I got to just share with y'all. If y'all would like to know where I got my beautiful attire, I'd be more than happy to share that with you. This is some of the most elegant stuff I've ever bought. And I have a thing special to me, and if you ask me, I'll share it with you. I have the unique ability to stain clothes where my wife looks at it and goes, how in the world? But if you would like one of these 3X way over large shirts with custom stains, look me up. But folks, that's not why we're here. Why are we up early this morning? Inside here, we've got two briskets on already this morning. Now, these are both about 12-pound briskets, 12 to 13-pound briskets. We're going to let them go slow. I'm a salt and pepper guy, as y'all know. So that's all that's on these, and we're going to let the beautiful oak wood take care of that. How did we get to here? Let's take a look. For me, I start out very early in the morning. Morning is one of my most favorite times of the day. We work on getting us a fire started, using good quality wood, getting our smoker balanced out, so we get and regulate our heat a lot easier. We start with a full brisket. I don't trim much off my brisket. A few big pieces of fat that I obviously won't render. I salt and pepper my brisket overnight, heavily with salt and pepper. I'm a salt and pepper guy, folks. I don't like anything else but that and smoke. Our fire is the key. Getting good bed of coals, getting your smoker set up. Don't rush it, let it come naturally. I cook my brisket fat side up. Let all of that fat render down through that meat. Maintain a good bed of coals during the whole time you cook. Hey folks, coming back out here doing a little checking on our brisket. We've been on here, about 5 hours or so. And we're just making sure things are going really good. And I thought I'd talk a little bit about my style of cooking brisket this way. I'm an old-fashioned kind of cook. I know that there is temperature pros that you can put in your brisket that go to your cell phone and tell you the temperature and all of that. And there's pellet grills that you can program to maintain a solid temperature for hours. And you can sit on the couch and cook you a brisket, and the brisket will be wonderful and taste really good. But to me, it's how we do it without anything that's modern. You know, if y'all followed me at all, and by the way, I didn't change much of my impressive attire, but if y'all been following me at all, you know that I'm pretty old-fashioned in the way I cook. I use wood, I don't use a lot of modern appliances, and I try to cook things that people would not expect to be cooked that way. But smoking meat is one of those ways, or one of the processes that, to me, requires this effort. Smoking any kind of meat, whether it's pork butts, brisket like we're doing today, any long, low, and slow, requires a lot of love, a lot of care, and a lot of attention. To me, you can taste that in the meat. You can taste that love and that care and that extra special touch that goes into meat that's prepared that way. Smoking brisket the way I do, one, requires a very good wood. The wood of my choice is oak, and I like using a good quality oak. Now, when I say good quality oak, what do I mean by that? It can't be punky or have any form of rot. It doesn't need to have any mushrooms or mold or anything growing on it. It needs to be good and clean, because the meat, the meat will absorb everything that comes out of that piece of wood. So when that heat and that smoke comes through there, it's going to go right into your meat. So if there's anything in your pit, it will flavor that meat. I've got a good surplus of that good oak, many different sizes from small pieces to large pieces, because as you add new wood to a fire on a long cook, if you add a big heavy piece to them coals to try to create more coals, it's longer for that to develop a coal, and it's more dirty smoke is the term people use, put them on your meat. Okay, so you want to use an average size and a constant size piece of wood when you put back in there. Now obviously we've got some pretty good wood. In amongst here is some old stuff. You can see some mushroom looking stuff showing up on that one. That will be enough wood for me to use for a Dutch oven, because that wood will not flavor what I'm cooking. Start with a good quality wood, folks. And you might think I talk a lot about that wood, but to me, and to a lot of old-fashioned guys like me, low and slow guys on natural wood, the quality of that wood is the key to the flavor and everything you put in your meat that you're smoking. Okay? So I think fruit wood for fish and fowl, other types of wood for beef or pork. But you can, I'm not saying it has to be that way. It's just kind of the way I would learn. But when you're doing ribs or something and you want to put a little apple in there or something to add a little flavor, that's fine. But that right there shows the importance of the wood. Because if you're putting apple wood to flavor your meat, then that's saying any bit of smoke that comes out of your firebox is flavoring your meat. If you're cooking a long cook and you throw a piece of plastic off in there, you just ruin your meat, folks. So enough about the wood, more about my attire. How you like it? Just kidding. But I'm a classic old cook. Okay, I do things the old-fashioned way. When our lights go out, we're still going to have food. Okay, but I just prefer that traditional way of cooking. To me, it's more meaningful than other forms of cooking, and it's important to me to carry on the knowledge of how to take something that doesn't tell you anything and decipher that data, such as looking at your brisket, okay, and holding your hand in here to seeing how hot that is. Okay, is it dripping liquid? Is it getting a little caramelized color to it? That food talks to you, folks. And you need to learn how to read that food, because it's telling you what it needs. It wants to taste good. Trust me. Every piece of beef wants to taste great. You just got to listen to what it's telling you and help it to taste great. So we're checking this out here, and we're just rambling on to you, but we're going to come back a little later and take a look at what we got. You can see how this meat has a shellac look to it. If it was dark and chalky looking, we'd say we were getting an excess smoke. But because this has that shellac look, we're regulating the quality of smoke that we have coming in there. And that's important on a long-term cook. Hey everybody, we're about to pull this second brisket off. We just pulled the first one off and got it in the pan down here. I'm going to get this other one off. Oh yeah. You know, my kids gave me this several years ago, and I wondered, what in the world am I going to do with such a big spatula? Tell you what, briskets and pulled pork, this right here is the man. I don't know if you can find one anymore, but it sure comes in handy. Let's get you over here to take a look. We probably have some sunlight glare on all of this, but got this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to let these briskets, one's in the bottom pan, one's in the top pan. We're going to let this come to room temperature, and we're going to chill it before we slice it. Because to me, there's nothing harder than slicing hot brisket. We got all this brisket pulled off. I'm going to shut our smoker down. Now, we've cooked this brisket not 100% done because we're going to be reheating this after we slice it to be served for an event. And so if we cook it fully right now, we're going to overcook it when we get ready to reheat it. Now, we'll get ready to reheat this. We're going to slice it all up, put it in this pan, and we're going to reheat it in there with some broth and probably a little beer. That's a trick for me. And reheat it really slow, really gentle, and just bring it up to a good temperature for people to enjoy. And then we'll put some barbecue sauce on it and go with it from there. Folks, enjoy everything about your life, but especially if you love to cook, do it because it's something you enjoy doing. I love to do it. No matter how hard the cook is, no matter what the weather's like or anything like that, it is always an enjoyment to me. So folks, as we end this video, as we do all videos, we want to say enjoy your food.